Have I told you about the temple that took me 7 whole years to build? Or about my palace that took me 13 years to build? Yes, 13 years. Before you judge me, remember, I'm a king. Kings need a palace. A very big palace. Preferably one that doesn't leak when it rains. But between the 2 projects, the temple was always the one closest to my heart. I am Solomon, son of David. My father loved God deeply. One of his greatest dreams was to build a house for the Lord in Jerusalem. But God told him, "You will not build it. Your son will." And that son was me. Imagine the pressure. Hello, Solomon. No big deal. Just build a house worthy of the creator of the universe. First, we gathered the finest materials. Cedar trees came from Lebanon, tall, fragrant, and strong. Workers cut huge stones and shaped them carefully. But here is something special. At the temple site, no hammer or chisel was heard. All the stones were prepared somewhere else first. Why? Because the house of God was meant to be a place of peace, not noise and chaos. When people came to worship, they would not hear the sound of construction, only prayer. Now let me tell you about the inside. The walls were lined with beautiful cedar wood. But we did not leave them plain. Artists carved designs of palm trees, flowers, and cherubim, heavenly creatures, into the walls. Then we covered it all with gold. Yes, gold everywhere. The walls shone. The floor shone. The doors shone. Sometimes sunlight came through the entrance and the whole temple glowed like it was, filled with liquid sunlight. One worker joked, "Your Majesty, if we add any more gold, people will need sunglasses to pray." I laughed. But honestly, he had a point. Inside the temple was the holy place. Golden lampstands stood there, burning with light day and night. There was a golden table for the sacred bread. And there was the altar of incense, where sweet fragrance rose like prayers toward heaven. Every detail had meaning. Because when you love someone, you don't give them leftovers. You give them your best. But deeper inside was the most sacred room of all, the most holy place. This room held the Ark of the Covenant, the sacred chest that reminded Israel of God's presence. We built 2 enormous cherubim statues inside. Their wings stretched across the room from wall to wall. And yes, they were covered in gold too. By the time we finished decorating, I'm pretty sure half the gold in the kingdom had disappeared into that temple. If a thief tried to steal it all, he would need about 50 camels and a very good escape plan. When the temple was finished, after 7 years, the temple was complete. When the ark was brought inside, something incredible happened. A cloud filled the temple, the presence of God. The priests could not even stand to minister. The glory of God filled the house. And I realized something important. Even though the temple was beautiful, God is bigger than any building. I said it myself. Even the highest heavens cannot contain you, how much less this temple I have built. Now, about that palace. After the temple was finished, I built my own palace. And yes, it took 13 years. Not because I loved it more, but because it was huge. There was the house of the forest of Lebanon, supported by rows of cedar pillars. There was a great hall where I judged cases as king. There were courtyards, chambers, and royal rooms. Even my throne room was magnificent. My throne was made of ivory and overlaid with gold. 6 steps led up to it, and lions stood beside the steps. When people saw it, they said, "There has never been a throne like this." But here is the truth. Even with all that beauty, even with the palace, even with the throne, the temple mattered more. Because a palace is where a king lives. But the temple was where people met God. Many people visited the temple and said, "Wow, Solomon built something amazing." But the temple was never meant to make people admire Solomon. It was meant to make people remember God. So here is my question for you. If we spent 7 years building a temple of gold for God, what kind of temple are you building with your life? Not with stones, not with cedar wood, not with gold, but with your choices, with your character, with your heart. Because the greatest temple God desires is not made with hands. It is a life that honors Him. And trust me, that kind of temple is worth far more than 7 years, or even 13. Let us know in the comments section which Bible character you want to hear from next.